we've come a long way, but we're still not close to where we need to be. And you can appreciate where we've come from. And I can certainly appreciate where we've come from. The inequity of things, even, at the Final Four a few years ago, there were things that, that were not fair. And the one positive thing I would say, and I think Lynn did this last night, they listened to the coaches and they're going to make changes, and hopefully they'll make bigger changes before we have to have a social media blast to have everyone be embarrassed and see the differences. So I think on the one hand, it's unfortunate that it happened, but on the other hand, I think there's been a response to it, and hopefully it'll improve not only for the rest of this tournament, but for the future. It'll be looked at differently. There'll be more eyes on it, and there'll be more people. I certainly don't believe that the committee went in thinking, well, let's see how we can have a great experience for the players. I don't think that's how they approached it. But certainly there were areas that were overlooked and not deemed important that are important in a lot of ways. And that just can't happen. It's not acceptable. I think everyone in the NCAA knows that. Everyone on the committee knows that. So, I try to balance it with our players where, you've worked hard and you've earned this. And is it fair? No, but that can't keep you from moving forward and presenting it to the public and giving it a platform that for somebody, it might not be you, it might be somebody after you that's going to benefit more, but that's part of being a woman and being in sports and taking a stand and making a statement so that it may not always help you, but it's certainly going to help someone that comes after you.
Obviously, you haven't seen anything firsthand other than whatever videos or pictures I've had access to. But the stories coming from Indianapolis are that there's some issues with some things going on out there that players are finding unacceptable. And the same is happening in Texas, but maybe for different reasons, and maybe different things are at issue. It may not be similar circumstances that exist in Indianapolis as they do in San Antonio. And everyone did know it was going to be a grind, and everyone was ready for it, as far as I can see. Although hard to be completely prepared for going through something like this because no one's ever been through anything like this. It's disappointing when the players, whether they're in Indianapolis or whether they're in San Antonio, feel as though, there are things that could have been done, should be done, should be happening that aren't happening. And it's disappointing to hear that because the NCAA tournament is supposed to be the culmination of a player's, season and sometimes their career. For some kids, this is their first NCAA tournament ever. And it may be their last year that they get a chance. They may not make it next year. They may not be back next year. Who knows? So it's disappointing to hear and to see the reaction. And it certainly doesn't put us, speaking women's basketball particularly, it doesn't put us in the best possible light.
It definitely is eye-opening, just seeing the guys' weight room. We've been fighting for, gender equality for a while now, and that just goes to show that we have a lot of work to do. And I'm calling out NCAA, like that. There's no excuse for that, and it's unacceptable, and they need to do better.